400 years ago, pressed seedlings into wet earth. He would not see them grown, he did it anyway. Sankeido, the road that grew slowly. Now 12,000 trees stand where his hands once moved, each one a sentence he could not finish in his lifetime. Sankeido, the road that grew slowly. I walk between them alone, and the road is 35 kilometers long. That is the length of someone's patience. Komorebi falls on Ishidatami, small bright pieces from the canopy. I think perhaps he imagined this exact light. Sankeido, the road that grew slowly. Past the cedars, the world resumes. Train signals ordinary distance, and yet 400 years keep walking with me. Who does the bamboo make this sound for? Sasa leaves brush each other up high, a sound like fingers tapping glass, too softly to hear if you are not listening. There is no audience, the grove keeps making it anyway. Who does the komorebi paint these stripes for? The light moves with the wind, and patterns appear on the moss that no one will remember tomorrow. The grove keeps painting them anyway. Who does Chikurin stand this tall for? Heian poets came once, tourists come now, and in between centuries with no one watching, the grove kept growing anyway. Maybe the answer is for itself. Maybe the answer is for whoever happens to walk in. Today that's me. Konnichi, Chikurin Sasa. I happen to walk in. Thank you for keeping the sound. 1,000 names sleep along this road. Some are carved in stone so soft the rain has finished reading them. Some belong to monks, some belong to merchants, some belong to children who were not given enough years. The cedars are 700 years old. Each ring inside them holds a season none of us remembers. Okunoin, a library of names, shelved in moss. I cannot read most of them, the wind reads them better. The rain has been reading them for 1,000 years and still has not finished. A bell rings somewhere, a monk walks past. Somewhere the road does not announce them. The road does not announce me either. Okunoin, a library of names, shelved in moss. I added one footstep to the soft surface of this road. Tomorrow it will be gone. That is also the point. Sankedo toro sugi. Keep reading without me. A 1,000 years ago, they came in lines of white dust, hundreds at a time, to Ari no Kumano Kodo. Then later, alone in straw shoes bent, but moving, carrying only what their hands could hold. The road did not ask. The road did not ask. It took their feet and kept their names in rain. Still walking us, still walking us. Kumano Kodo, still walking us. Moss on the stones, cedars in the mist. We arrive, we leave. It stays and watches this. Now I am here in waterproof boots and silence. The cedars look the same, like they never learned my face. The shrine at the bend, Ojisha small and patient, keeps one eye on me and one eye on the sky. Perhaps it has seen me, perhaps it has seen me 1,000 times in 1,000 different bones. Still walking us, still walking us. Kumano Kodo, still walking us. Moss on the stones, cedars in the mist. We arrive, we leave. It stays and watches this. Kodai. Different tongues, same slow prayer. And someday soon, somebody will come. The cedar will stand. The rain will know their name. Still walking us. Still walking us. Kumano Kodo, still walking us. Moss on the stones, cedars in the mist. We arrive, we leave. It stays and watches this. Once a man walked here every morning. He thought about consciousness. He thought about being. He thought perhaps about why a man should walk every morning at all. The sakura were younger then. The water in the suido moved at the same speed. I am walking now. The same water is still moving. I do not know what he concluded, but the road must remember. Tetsugaku no michi, a road that thinks back at you. Tetsugaku no michi, a road that thinks back at you. Here is the strange thing. I came to walk. I did not come to think, but the road has its own habit. By the time I reach the end, I am thinking about why I came. Maybe that is the design. Maybe Nishida arranged it this way, so anyone walking would catch the disease of considering things. Tetsugaku no michi, a road that thinks back at you. Tetsugaku no michi, a road that thinks back at you. Sakura falls when it falls. Suido keeps moving. Omoi comes whether you invite it or not. I am leaving the road now, but the road has not finished asking me anything. Then, 8th century, the pine on the mountain ridge remembers the moon that was not yet when it first sprouted. A poet walked here 1300 years ago. Now the pine is gone, a different one stands there now. The moon is the same moon. Then the road kept its silence, and the silence kept time with every step. Now path is weaving into something it will not finish. Another poet left that line behind. Now I added a footstep. The path kept weaving without looking up. Then the hill held the answer in pine shade and stone and a clean small wind. Now I followed the same curve with the phone in my hand and less in my chest. Yamanobe-no-michi, Yamanobe-no-michi. The oldest road is patient. Yamanobe-no-michi, Yamanobe-no-michi. It keeps what it can't finish. Then 13th century, I came carrying nothing. I leave carrying less. I came with a bottle, the small clutter of a modern person. At the kofun I sat down. At the next kofun I stopped checking my phone. By the third, I forgot what I came carrying, and the sky felt closer than any name I had. Yamanobe-no-michi, Yamanobe-no-michi. The oldest road is patient. Yamanobe-no-michi, Yamanobe-no-michi. It keeps what it can't finish. The poets and I walked the same road and arrived at the same emptiness. It was waiting for us. It is waiting for whoever comes next. Manyoshu, still being written by the road. Open, 6 small stone children sit in the koke beside the path. Warabejizo, who put you here? Was it a parent who lost a child? Was it a sculptor who simply liked how moss looks on stone? You are smiling, that is the strange part. The moss has covered your shoulders, your knees, your folded hands. And still, you are smiling. What did you see that made you smile like that? 800 years of weather, and you are still smiling, smiling. Sankedo leads to a temple, but you are not the temple. You are the small thing people miss when they hurry to the temple. I sat down in the koke across from you. I waited. You did not move, but neither did I for a long time. We were both just stone and moss. Just stone and moss. Why sea that made you smile like that? 800 years of weather, and you are still smiling, smiling. You are not going to answer. That is the whole point. The answer would be smaller than the silence. The question lives in smaller than the silence. Oh, Hara is quiet because it does not need to answer. And neither today do I. Warabechizo, keep smiling. I will see myself out. I came to see the Tolo, 3,000 of them they say. The Tolo are old, older than my grandmother's grandmother. We have watched them get older. Shika crossed my path, it looked at me, it did not move away. You are slower than most. You walk the way one of us walks when nothing is chasing. That is unusual. We approached Sankeido, the road where Shika decide which humans are worth walking beside. The Tolo lined the path in moss-covered rows. The Shika kept pace. I started to feel I had passed some kind of test. I did not know I was taking. You did not reach for your phone. You did not hurry. You did not try to feed us. We could tell. We walked with you for a while. Sankeido, the road where Shika decide which humans are worth walking beside. At some point, the Shika turned away. I do not remember when I only remember walking the rest of the path, feeling slightly chosen. You will not see us again, but you will walk slowly the rest of today. That is what we leave behind. The Shika returned to the forest. The Toro stayed in their rows, and I returned to my city quietly, carrying the small honor of having been walked beside. I left the inn at first light. The Ishidatami was wet from a rain I did not hear fall. The peak of the mountain held a cloud that did not move. A man passed passed me on the path. He nodded, I nodded back. He was wearing straw sandals. I did not look down at my own feet. Nakasendo, the road that does not know which year it is. Nakasendo, the road that does not know which year it is. At the next bend, the road descended toward Shukuba. Smoke rose from a roof. Someone was making rice. The smoke could have been from any century. I stopped at a tea house. The woman who poured my tea did not ask my name. She said, many people walk through here, few of them stop. I drank slowly. Nakasendo, the road that does not know which year it is. Nakasendo, the road that does not know which year it is. Past the tea house, the road climbed again. Tabibito have always done this part out of breath. The trees did not seem to care when we caught it back. At the top of the pass, I looked back. The valley was full of mist. Somewhere in it, the man with the straw sandals was still walking. So was I. Nakasendo, the road that does not know which year it is. Nakasendo, the road that does not know which year it is. I closed the inn door behind me, but the road kept the page open. Day, the doors come through, phones held high, lattice windows flash, the streets stand still. Day, dark wood and ochre, second floor rooms, empty in the light, nobody there. Then the buses go and the air turns soft, the stones let go of the noonday talk. Chayakai, two streets in one. Chayakai, tourists see one, we know the other one. Chayakai, two streets in one. Chayakai, day looks one way, night opens the door. Night, a shamisen starts somewhere nearby. A low laugh slips out, a door moves once. Yellow squares glow in the upstairs dark. I cannot see them, but they see me. I walk that lane that I walked at noon. Same old wood, different different to Chayagai. Two streets in one Chayagai. Tourists see one, we know the other one. Chayagai. Two streets in one Chayagai. Day looks one way, night opens the door. A woman crossed ahead in dark clothing. She never turned, she belonged here. I heard the bridge say my name back, and the silence folded into the black. Chayagai. Two streets in one Chayagai. Tourists see one, we know the other one. Chayagai. Two streets in one Chayagai. Day looks one way, night opens the door. I went back to my room, the street stayed awake. Open without me, open after me. Open, a village, houses with the roofs deep enough to hold the snow off. Yuki is falling slowly. Sound one, someone is shoveling, wood scraping ice. A rhythm like a heartbeat that is also a chore. Sound two, a door slides open down the lane. A woman steps out with a basket. She does not look at the snow. She has known this snow her whole life. Shirakawa-go. The village is not a museum. People still live here in the gaps between visitors. Shirakawa-go. The village is not a museum. People still live here in the gaps between visitors. Sound three, smoke rises from a kayabuki roof. Someone is making lunch. The smoke smells of cedar and rice. It rises until the snow erases it. Sound four, a child laughs somewhere behind a closed window. You cannot tell which house the sound came from, the inside of winter. Sound five, at dusk the lanterns come on, one by one. Not for tourists, but because dusk has always needed to be lit. Close, I walk the lane back to my inn. A neighbor's TV was murmuring. A dog barked once. The snow kept falling. Shirakawa-go. The village is not a museum. People still live here in the gaps between visitors. Shirakawa-go. The village is not a museum. People still live here in the gaps between visitors. Gasho. Holding off the weight above another quiet evening. Look up Babash, the water is so clear. You can count the stones at the bottom. I started walking toward Myojin. I had things on my mind. A bird called once from a tree I could not see. I kept walking, the water kept moving. I kept thinking halfway to Myojin. I noticed I had not thought about anything for several minutes. The water had taken over. The river does not pause for you. You pause for the river. The river does not pause for you. You pause for the river. At a bend in the path, the trees opened. Hogo stood there. I did not say anything. There was nothing to say. I kept walking. The water kept moving. I kept not talking. The river does not pause for you. You pause for the river. The river does not pause for you. You pause for the river. At Myojin, the water is bluer. The mountain is closer. I stood there. The water kept moving. I kept not thinking. On the way back, I tried to remember what I had been worrying about that morning. I could not. Shizuku Mori Nisi. On a rock face, half covered in coquette, a face was carved 1300 years ago. It is still looking at the path. I walked past it, I walked back. I sat down on the trail and looked at it for a while. It looked at me. Kunisaki, Kunisaki, a mountain watching back before this country had a name. Kunisaki, Kunisaki, the rocks have kept their gaze. Around the next bend, another face, smaller, almost gone. The moss has been working on it for centuries. It is still looking at the path. I started to feel that the mountain was full of them, faces I would not see unless I sat down and let them find me. Kunisaki, Kunisaki, a mountain watching back before this country had a name. Kunisaki, Kunisaki, the rocks have kept their gaze. A monk passed me. He nodded. He had probably walked this path 1,000 times. probably knew where every face was. I did not ask him. I think the point is to find them yourself or be found by them. At dusk I left the mountain. The faces stayed where they were. They will be there tomorrow. They will be there in another 1,000 years. Kunisaki, Kunisaki, a mountain watching back before this country had a name. Kunisaki, Kunisaki, the rocks have kept their gaze. Magai-butsu, keep watching. You have always been better at it than we are. See, I came down the lane toward the Yubatake. Wooden channels everywhere, hot water glowing, soft white, steam rising thick, don't see. By the time I reached the center, the steam had eaten the street. A lantern 10 meters away was a yellow blur. I could not see the people I heard. Here, a wooden bucket struck stone. A woman laughed. Someone sang a fragment of a Yamomi song. I could not see any of them. Yubatake, a town where the steam keeps the street private, even from the people walking through it. Yubatake, a town where the steam keeps the street private, even from the people walking through it. See, I followed the water down toward Nishino-Kawara. Out of the steam, the world returned. Trees, evening sky, a hawk, don't see. But the water was still hot and steam still rose in slow columns from the river. The town behind me had vanished. It was still there, somewhere inside its own breath. Here, a wooden gata clacked on stone behind me. I did not turn around. I did not need to. Yubatake, a town where the steam keeps the street private, even from the people walking through it. Yubatake, a town where the steam keeps the street private, even from the people walking through it. Close, I walk back into the steam. The street swallowed me. For a moment I belonged to it, the way a sound belongs to a room. You can't keep hiding what you hide. I will keep walking through it quietly. Yubatake, a town where the steam keeps the street private, even from the people walking through it. walking through it.
Count, there is a man on this mountain who walks 1,000 days in 7 years. Count, he starts at midnight. He walks 30 kilometers before sunrise. He does this 600 days before he is allowed to do the harder version today. I walked here today. 3 kilometers with the water bottle. The trail is shaded. I stopped twice. Kyojamichi, the path that keeps account. None of us can match. Kyojamichi, the path that keeps account. None of us can match. Count, on the 700th day, he must go without food and water and sleep for 9 days. He prays the entire time. Some men do not survive this. Today I read about it. Last night I came up here to see the path. I walked it slowly. I tried to imagine what the 700th day feels like. Kyojamichi, the path that keeps account. None of us can match. Kyojamichi, the path that keeps account. None of us can match. Count, he completes 1,000 days. He becomes a diaheti. There are not many of them in any given century. Today, the wind moved through the sugi. A bell rang somewhere below. I sat on a stone for a while. I thought about my own days. Close. I walked back down the mountain in the late afternoon. The path will be there tomorrow. Someone may walk it at midnight. I will not, but I have walked it once. That is also a number. Kyojamichi, the path that keeps account. None of us can match. Kyojamichi, the path that keeps account. None of us can match. Keep counting without me. $7,000 a tree on this mountain was already here when the pyramids were planned. 80 years. A human on average gets 80 years. 7,000. The tree has watched 70 of us pass through in a single straight line. 80. I am here for one afternoon. Yakushima, where time has two speeds, and ours is
koke on every rock is the result of a long wet conversation. Minutes, I walk the loop in 2 hours. I touch the bark of one senensugi. I did not say anything. Yakushima, where time has 2 speeds, and ours is the smaller one. Yakushima, where time has 2 speeds, and ours is the smaller one. 70 of us. The tree did not register me. It is busy with weather and seasons and the slow business of staying. 80, I registered the tree. I will think about it for the rest of my life. That is the asymmetry. Yakushima, where time has 2 speeds, and ours is the smaller one. Yakushima, where time has 2 speeds, and ours is the smaller one. Our smaller one. Close, I walk back through Shiratani. In light rain, the forest kept dripping. I left, the forest stayed. That is also the point. Senensugi keep growing without me. Most days the hama is empty. Wind from the Japan Sea moves the sand. A few seabirds, a fisherman occasionally. That is most of the year. Most days the path from the beach to the shrine has no procession. A pilgrim now and then. The total weight without being lit. One night a year. Kamimukae. Kamimukae. The road waits all year to be ready. The 8 million gods of Japan come ashore here. One night, the total are lit. The path is full of priests walking toward the shrine. You cannot see the gods, but the air is full of them. Be ready for one. Most days I came on an ordinary afternoon. The hama was nearly empty. A child was throwing stones at the sea.
the path was just a path most days, but you could feel that something would arrive here eventually. The road was holding the shape of an absence that knew how to become a presence. One night I will not be here, on that night I will be in my city, in my apartment, unaware that the gods are walking up this path without me. The Hama will be ready, the path will be ready. Kamimukae, Kamimukae. The road waits all year to be ready for one. That is also a kind of faith, to keep being ready for what arrives once a year. Izumo, hold the date, I will visit before then. Visible, the wall is white, that is what people come to see. Invisible, but the wall is white because someone scrubs it every spring. The wall did not stay white on its own. Visible, the yanagi leans over the canal. Its branches touch the water. A small wooden boat passes underneath. Invisible, the yanagi is trimmed twice a year by a man whose father trimmed it, and whose grandfather trimmed it, and whose great-grandfather planted it. Bikan-chiku, a beauty held up, a beauty held up. Bikan-chiku, hands you do not see, hands you do not see. Visible, the kura walls are dark wood on top, white plaster below. They look like they have been here for centuries. Invisible, they have been here for centuries because every 20 years someone replasters them. The plaster comes from a quarry 40 kilometers away. The man who burns the lime learned it from his grandfather. Bikan-chiku, a beauty held up, a beauty held up. Bikan-chiku, hands you do not see, hands you do not see. Visible, a tour boat glides past, cameras lift, a child points at a koi. Invisible, at 5 a.m. tomorrow, a woman with a broom will sweep this stretch of stone. She will be done before the first tourist arrives. She has been doing this for 30 years. Shirakawa, keep being white, keep being white. close. I walk the path slowly, trying to see what is usually invisible. The small accumulated effort that lets a town stay beautiful without saying so. Shirakawa, keep being white. Someone will keep helping you. The town is asleep. Mist sits on the roofs. A single light comes on in a kitchen at the end of the street. Someone is starting the kettle. The first wooden table is set out on the stone of Shichikendori. An obasan, older than I will ever be, arranges turnips in a row of 7. Another table, another obasan, pickled plums in glass jars, spring greens tied with straw. She does not look up when I pass. There is no need to Asaichi. The same morning, 400 years in a row. The mist is still here, but the light has changed. The Tenkon castle, somewhere above, is still floating in cloud. Down here, the street fills slowly with quiet. A man walks up to the first table. He buys turnips. He nods. She nods. No money was discussed. He has been buying these turnips his whole life. Asaichi, the same morning, 400 years in a row. The mist begins to lift. The street is now soft with people, children, a dog, the smell of miso somewhere. The asoshi is in full motion, but motion that has been refined for centuries into something resembling stillness. I bought a small bag of pickles. The obasan handed it to me without ceremony. She has done this gesture maybe 1,000,000 times. I have done it once. Shichikendori, keep waking up like this. You are doing it perfectly. Was 500 years ago. This mountain was loud. Hammers, voices, smelting furnaces. A third of the world's silver came out of these tunnels. Is now the mountain is Koke. Stone walls without houses, tunnels without miners. The wind does most of the talking. Was the town below, was the second largest in Japan. 20,000 people, ships waiting at the coast to carry silver to the world. Now the path through the mountain is mostly empty. A few hikers a day, a gate marker leaning into the moss. Iwami Ginzan, where the loudest century has finished. Iwami Ginzan, and become quiet. Iwami Ginzan, where the loudest century was silver from this mountain ended up in Lisbon, Manila, Mexico City, Antwerp. It changed the price of bread in places these miners would never see. Is the miners are gone, their names are gone. The bread they could not afford is also gone. What stayed was the moss, what stayed was the path. Iwami Ginzan, where the loudest century has finished. Iwami Ginzan, and become quiet. Iwami Ginzan, where the loudest century. I have walked 20 roads now. Cedar roads, bamboo roads, moss roads, ancient pilgrim roads, hot spring roads, snowy village roads. Each one was different, each one was the same in this. They were all longer than me. They will all be here when I am gone. Iwami Ginzan, where the loudest century has finished. Iwami Ginzan, and become quiet. Iwami Ginzan, the loudest century. The Haikan stays open in the mountain. The moss continues its slow work. And somewhere on this path, a future traveler is walking who has not been born yet. That is the whole point of a road. It does not need you, but you can walk on it.